Episode 49 today. I got JH Bards owners in here. I've got Jason Hardy, Jason Hudson on the show with me today. Guys, I really appreciate you. Yesterday was a disaster, like not being able to go when we had, the rescheduling. We've been hard at you trying to get you on this thing because we think you got something great, and it's a story we want to push here for local New River Valley businesses. So thank you so much for being on.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having us.
Yeah. So let's just get right into it. JH Bards. Let's talk about it. Like, what's the name mean? Let's get into how y'all came up with it. Give us the story.
Yeah, thanks, Scott, and thanks, guys, for having us on. We're just way too excited to be here. No problems on yesterday. All good.
Cool.
We're happy to be here.
Thank you for your patience there, for sure.
Absolutely. So, yeah, JH Bards. We're the New River Valley's first whiskey distillery. We're very happy to be so. We started this journey, I'm going to say a year ago. It really started before that, but in all, true effort, I guess it started about a year ago. And Jason and I met each other, going on 4 years ago now. I moved back to town shortly after he moved back to town. We're both from Blacksburg originally, and both married local girls, and moved them away and had to make amends on that and bring them back into town. So ran into him when I moved back. I'm a banker in my real life, and needed to figure out a way to meet people and network with the big wigs and that kind of thing. So I walked into his bar and said, wanted to start a whiskey club, a bourbon club, to sit around and talk about whiskey and get away from the working and the daddying and the husbanding and all that other stuff that people do these days. And was just instantly impressed with Jason and his knowledge and passion over whiskey. And we ran this little whiskey club for a while. We called it the Bourbon and Rye Drinking Society, which, if you take that acronym, that is Bards.
Nice.
We ran that for 3 years now, I guess, running strong for 3 years. And that kind of morphed into a couple of end of the night conversations to hey man, what about starting a distillery? Wouldn't that be kind of fun? The area doesn't have a true whiskey distillery. There's some moonshine distilleries locally, but we wanted to take it a step further and serve the brown stuff. So we took the JHs from both of our names, put it in the front of the Bourbon and Rye Drinking Society, and Bards was born.
Well, that's an awesome story. Brands are built around that story, and so you getting that to the public and like telling that story, and your friendship and the legacy, like that's a legacy play, like what you guys are doing to create opportunity for people and something that people like yourself find passion for on like an escape mechanism that people love that. So that's a great story you guys have. So take us through the process of, we talked off air about how much courage this took, and what you guys' vision is for this company, and everything that entails this big risk. I mean, this beverage space is competitive. This beverage, it's cutthroat. This is over $1 billion industry. And we were talking off air how Proper Whiskey just sold for $600 million. So just take me through what you guys had to do to even just get to where you are.
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and thanks for framing it in that way, because I think we did take some risks, especially starting in 2020. With the looming COVID being over everybody. We knew people weren't leaving their houses very often. They weren't straying out. They weren't doing a lot of things that in normal life, just a year prior, they were doing regularly. So, yeah, to enter the space, in an environment such as one that COVID put on us, I think was a big risk for us. But when we sat back at the end of the day, we knew we had the passion, we knew we had the knowledge, the energy. Certainly, you've got to have that, right? You've got to be able to really step up and put some energy behind it. At the end of the day, when we sat back, we said, opening in COVID for us is not going to be a bad thing, because at the root of our company, the very basic tenet that we live underneath is local. And COVID kind of helped us and is helping us have this local focus where we don't have to come out of the gate at a full sprint. We can kind of trot out of the gate, not fall too far behind the pack as far as we feel. Make a lot of really solid local connections, such as yourself. I mean, this being on this podcast is big for us because it's a medium for us to be out there and deal with local folks and present to local folks. So great case study here for us. But if we had started in times when COVID wasn't there, our business model would have had to have been completely different. And for us to be able to start now in sort of a protected kind of way, I think that was really a great idea for us, and will prove to be a great idea for us in the long run.
Gotcha. I see you guys booking wins, and I think every time you sell to a new restaurant, like you're doing great as far as, making sure people know about your product in certain locations and things like that. I think you're doing great on that. But I'd like to be encouraging of you guys in a marketing capacity to like open up all the social medias. I mean, you know how important, if this is going to scale out and you guys are going to get outside the New River Valley, which is probably going to need to happen for you, to get to your income goals and what you think is possible here. I mean, do y'all want to take this global? Like, how big do you want this to be? And I know you got a vodka bottle sitting up here, Jason. Like, you guys got an array of products, right? It's not just whiskey. You guys kind of hit it all, right?
Yeah, we do. Our Sinking Creek vodka is a great example of having, something other than, me and Jason, our focus. And when we drink together, it's always going to be whiskey. Yeah. But we realize that there's a market out there for a lot of different things. And our vodka has been very, very well received. As you said, we've been very encouraged by the amount of support that the local communities have given us. In fact, we just added one more new restaurant yesterday to our collection of people that are supporting us. And by the end of the week, we should have 2 more under our belts as well.
I would love for you to take the time to list out in this show, give us maybe, I hate to exclude anybody. So if it's not like a 50 restaurant list, if you got a 10, where people can go find this product. I know you're at Blacksburg Country Club. I kind of keep my eye on down at Blacksburg Country Club because, I used to work there. I got a fond place in my heart for Blacksburg Country Club. So I keep on the news down there. So I've seen y'all post there. Like, where else are you?
We are predominantly Blacksburg because it was nice and simple for myself, leaving the restaurant business to open up this place.
Yeah.
I had a lot of connections. And so those folks have been really, really gracious. So we've got 622 North, Maroon Door, Black Hen, as well as Bull and Bones. Square 5 Social House, or Public House rather, is one of our newer ones. Zeppeli's just came on board with us yesterday as they're rolling out their new pop-up barbecue. So we've got a large collection of folks. Blacksburg Wine Lab, Draper Mercantile over in Pulaski County, Preston's Inn over here at the River Course. It kind of a varied group of individual restaurants and groups coming together to really showcase our product in different ways. Some of them are cocktail bars and some of them are more of a, just a little bit of a sipping bar, but they've all been really, really great for us.
So at this point right now, are one of you putting it in the back of the truck and taking it to them, or like how are you distributing to your people that are retailing this product out?
Yeah, so we're doing self-distribution as of now. Eventually, the plan will be to get into the ABC stores, but to get shelf space in an ABC store is fairly cutthroat and can be very difficult. And you have to approach that on a store-by-store basis. So as the months move on throughout the summer, hopefully by fall, we'll be entering into the ABC market as well.
See, I'm developing relationships with people right now that are going to be influencing these types of laws and opportunities. I've had conversations with Amanda Chase. I know she was the runner-up of the primary for the GOP side of the governor race coming up. I just had a meeting with Marie March today, and what are some of the challenges that stand in front of you in Virginia like we're just talking kind of going from local to maybe statewide, then to maybe nationwide. What are some laws right now that you guys are concerned with that are going to be hurdles that you need to jump that we might can influence here on this podcast, or take, like when I see Marie next, or when I go and sit down with Amanda Chase as she continues to try to climb, to what her goal is, like what can I express for you that possibly is in your way and you see a difficult challenge because of the laws of the state or the country, or like you distributing this to like New York State or Texas, like have you even started looking into that stuff?
We're currently only allowed to sell within the state line. We can't leave the state. The nice thing is we can mail our whiskey to anybody that purchases it in the state of Virginia. But leaving Virginia is a little bit more of a difficult task, and it's really all about volume sales and being able to prove that there's a want, a need, a desire for your product in whatever state you're looking to go into. So it's just basically climbing a ladder. Every day you grab one more rung and you just try to keep on going until you kind of hit that threshold of we can break out of either Virginia or even smaller out of the New River Valley.
Gotcha. So you don't know of one specific piece of legislation that you would like either amended or overturned that would give you more freedoms to get your product distributed across the state or maybe even across the country. I'd like to look into that because I know that's a huge challenge in this space, is the ability to ship and deliver the product to the places that demand it. I know there's big constraints there, so I'd like to see more freedom for people in this space, especially with the thoughtfulness and the quality that you guys are most likely putting in it. I feel like, I've not tasted your product, but I feel like this is a very well thought out type thing that a lot of people would enjoy. And I hate that, this government bureaucracy is holding you back, So I'd like to be an influence in some capacity in that regard, So like if you identify something, bring it to my attention, because I've got the ear of some people that I think are influential that can help write laws that'll make things easier for you.
So I'll tell you one thing that is kind of an issue, and I can't say this without saying we knew it was an issue before we got into this, so it's not like we didn't, we weren't blindsided by it, but Virginia is the third highest taxation state on spirits that are distilled here in Virginia. So a major hurdle for us, and I've got an example, don't let me talk through and not give you my example here, but 51% of our retail sales price. So for instance, our bourbon sells for $39.99 a bottle, $40 a bottle. So 51% of that goes to taxes to Virginia ABC. And I think most people don't know that. So
wow.
When you walk into our tasting room,
so of your gross sales, you have to chop 51% of your profit to the government.
Correct.
Wow.
On a monthly basis. We send that.
You have to pay that on a monthly basis?
We do.
Wow. So like me, I'm taxed on a quarterly. My S corporation is taxed on a quarterly, but you have to report your sales every month and pay a tax on that. 51%.
That's exactly right.
Wow.
So here's my little practical case study type example, and we. With Jason's history in the bar business, he alluded to the fact that he's made many contacts throughout the New River Valley and that type of thing. And whenever we're dropping off our product to our partners who have ordered it, we're getting a lot of feedback, and a lot of it's positive, and then there's some wish list type stuff. And one of the major wish list things that we're dealing with right now is the fact that kind of the classic rail bourbon, and rail bourbon is what you put in a college student's drink, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what goes in a bourbon and Coke. Was Evan Williams Green Label, and a great Kentucky-based whiskey that just doesn't cost much. I mean, it's what, $10 a bottle, I think, $10 a liter. So they've asked us, hey guys, can y'all help us fill a hole in the market here and help us with finding a substitute? And we'd love to produce a Virginia-made, Virginia distilled product that in a college town, whether it be Blacksburg, Radford, Charlottesville, whatever, that our partners could put on the shelf. And because of that 50%, that 51% tax, it's physically impossible. I mean, we've run the numbers, we've tried to figure it out. You just can't get there. And a lot of that is because you're having to double, you double your wholesale cost to get to your retail, and all that, then that goes.
Yeah. So when you come and deliver your product to Blacksburg Country Club, that's your retail. That's your retail. Right. That's not their retail. You're really selling it to them wholesale, and then they're retailing it off. But in the government's mind, you just retailed off your product to them, and you owe them the cost that, or the money you brought in to your company. You owe them 51% of it.
Basically. Yeah.
I don't think the government should ever be a partner, or the majority stake partner in a company. I think that's something that really, really needs to be looked at. And how long has that law been on the book? Is that a century old situation, or like, where did they come with that number? That's a ridiculous number.
I have no idea.
This is what stops people like you from starting a company like this in the New River Valley. This is why you go over the border to Bristol, where you probably don't have crazy stuff like that. So another, I commend you guys even further. I mean, it is completely ridiculous to have that tax when you can go, 150 miles south and not get that. Like, to be competitive in this space, like, are they trying to discourage you, like, from doing this? Maybe they are trying to discourage you. Like, you got to be crazy. You got to be crazy to try to do this. But I love the New River Valley story. I love you guys being like, the heck with whatever it is, we're going to make it work. We'll figure out a way. I love the figure out a way strategy. And that's the strategy that I've kind of like, I've shot from the hip a lot. I've done things. I've made mistakes. I've tried to grow this business in a way that I thought was right. And I want to be here in the New River Valley. I want to grow and have a life here in the community that I grew up in, because I've been away too, and I realized how great this place was. And it's troubling and disappointing that a government decision has limited the opportunities that you have financially, and you just got to go be winners at a whole different level to make this thing work. And it should be easier. They should be more encouraging of you guys to do that. So if I can influence them to maybe look at that and figure out a way to lessen that burden on you, I'll do everything that I can.
That'd be great. Appreciate any help you can give us, man. It's, you hate to say it is what it is. I think that's the attitude a lot of people have had over the years.
Yeah.
We're new kids on the block. We're not trying to draw attention to anything. We're not trying to, to Muhammad Ali and shake up the world at this point.
Oh, yet, man. Right? I love that. I love that strategy though. Like at some point you need attention, right? Like at some point you're going to have to go out and ruffle, or you're going to have to shake the tree, as they say. You're going to have to get out there and bring awareness in some way to you. And I'll refer back to Proper 12. Proper 12 had Conor McGregor. What kind of a dynamic thing, a personality that guy is,
Right.
and I would, I love Conor McGregor. I would go to the airport when I touched down in Vegas, and I would seek out his whiskey just because of my affection for him. So like I feel like you guys have to create something similar. You guys have to go out and like make a big splash in this distillery game. Like, you got to figure out a way to market this brand and this product, and maybe go get your $600 million payday. If that's what it would take to get you out of this thing. Like, I would love for that to be the New River, something that's happened in the New River Valley. Two buddies that loved whiskey, started up a company and made a killing at it. Like, that's a great New River Valley story. So
we would love to be able to tell that story.
Yeah. I would love to be able to create the marketing for that story. Like that's kind of what we're setting up here. We're like all things media. We're trying to help, obviously bring awareness to guys like you. And at some point we're going to have proof of concept of something, and maybe we can distribute that across all local businesses and help them really gain what they're looking to gain. So maybe some sort of partnership in the future, some sort of collaboration on those ideas. Like I'm excited to maintain this relationship and help you guys in whatever capacity that we can.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
So we kind of, man, that was a pretty good 20 minutes there. I feel like I can talk to you guys for an hour at least. So, let's just talk about something you guys have on your mind. Like, what are some of the big challenges you're dealing with today? Like, are you trying to staff? Where are you? What's your sticking points? Where are you having trouble right now? Like, just tell us a trouble story if you got one.
Well, I think we have a challenge being, we're not located downtown Blacksburg. Our facility is over here in Fairlawn, over near the river course at the Pulaski County Innovation Center.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a departure from what a lot of folks think of when they think of a distillery or a tasting room. We have a large warehouse bay that we've subdivided and rebuilt a barn in here. So getting folks into the door, we don't have a big storefront. We don't have a huge sign right outside that says, come in here. So a lot of our sales and a lot of the visitors that we get, it's a lot of word of mouth. Social media has been great for that, but the one that's been the best is the word of mouth. And we get a lot of folks, we always try to ask people, how did you hear about us? And inevitably it's always, well, my buddy Billy told me about it. They came in, had a great time, and they want to get here. So being that we are in a little bit of a different style of location, just getting people over in to check us out, getting off the beaten path, as it were, to walk in the door. That's one of our challenges, but we've been doing okay with it, but you can always get more bodies.
Would you guys be interested in hosting a 20-year class reunion by chance?
We could probably do that. It would all revolve around numbers and all of that, but yep. That's definitely, we've hosted a number of private events. We're only open on the weekend right now, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, but our Monday through Thursdays devoted to bottling, labeling, distribution, visiting our licensee partners, as well as hosting private events as well.
Why don't we do something, because the class of 01, Christiansburg class of 01, is trying to find a venue for the 20-year reunion we have coming up. It's going to be the third weekend of July. And I'll talk to the guy that's coordinating it. He's trying to book something. I think he's talking to like Eastern Divide, but I think if I can get you, I don't think he's booked anything. And I think if we could do something and we could use that opportunity to maybe do some filming or something like that to get you some sort of social media, some sort of media created around like a commercial type aspect, so people have more awareness about you. Maybe we can do something, collaboration at that point to help you have some sort of presence that you can use, distribute that however you want to distribute that. And I just think that anything that we can do to help each other, I think that would be great. So I'll put him on there. Corey Thompson, if you're watching, JH Bards, Fairlawn, we need to talk to them about the Christiansburg class reunion 2001. So we'll see if we can't put that together.
That's how things happen right there. That's
Yep.
great.
Networking live on air.
That's right.
All right. So we kind of talked about, the cash out, the end game. And I think you guys, just from the vibe I get, you're okay with this being a legacy play and like you just riding out and being the CEO and like you guys being the operators of this business for as long as you can be the operators, and then pass it down to, who you want to pass it down to after you're done with it. Is that the vision, or like, are y'all looking to develop something and, get that big payday? Like what was the driving force behind this, and like what your end goal would be in this capacity?
Well, this is this is kind of the culmination of my restaurant career. I was in the restaurant business for 30 years, everything from the back of the house to the front of the house to management to bartending.
Where all did you work? Where all did you, like, tell us about that?
Most recently, I was the bar manager at 622 North in Blacksburg, and that was the job I took when I first came back to Blacksburg. Before that, I did DC, Denver, Boston, worked in some of the biggest, best places in those cities, and it was a great way to develop my career. Once my wife and I decided to move back to town, she's a Pulaski County native. It was nice to be able to slow down a little bit and work at a little bit of a smaller scale. But 622 North kept me nice and busy and really gave me an opportunity to revisit and meet new folks around the area. But with all that being said, this business is what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is the end game for me. If I can drink, make, and talk about whiskey every day, I'm a really, really happy boy. Now, that's not to say that if, Diageo or Seagram's or someone comes over and wants to hand me $10 million and buy me out, that's great.
10 million's not enough. 10 million's not enough, bro. You gotta get into them 9-figure paydays.
Exactly.
If you're gonna chop it up 50-50 with your partner over here, it's gotta and you're gonna exit the company. You need to be able to go on a yacht somewhere year round if you want to.
Right. But even if that were to happen, even if we were to get that big payday, I feel like I would immediately just turn around and start a new whiskey distillery and try something new again.
Yeah.
This is the dream job for me. I could not be happier with what I'm doing right now, and it's the best thing I could have asked for. And having Jason as a partner has been just amazing.
That's awesome.
Well, you're making me miss you over here, pal. I'm misting up a little bit. No, same for me. This for me still. I'm still a 50-hour a week banker, so I'm running two jobs and supporting Jason the best way I can.
So he's your operator. You're the investor that's helped him. You kind of get some say in the decisions, but he's the one turning the lever. Sounds like. That's
100% correct.
Gotcha.
I mean, he's the idea guy in the house. He's the front and the back. I'm here to support him the best way I can. We sit down regularly and go through ideas and what we're gonna how we're gonna get people in the spot and that kind of thing. But we're gonna be rolling out some new things here shortly that are going to be, I think, game turners for us. Maybe not game changers quite yet, but they'll be game turners for us. And that's a line of bitters and the syrups that we make our cocktails with, and they're all Jason's babies. And he was absolutely brilliant in the kitchen, turning these things out. And we'll have those for sale retail fairly soon. And it's just a great example of his creativity and his ability to be able to put things together. And we just got to get those to market and get them out there. And I think people in the area are just going to absolutely go crazy over them.
Man, having multiple products under your umbrella, I found out is so super important. Like you just having one product. Having one product that's great is nice, but if you have 10 great products that you can offer for everybody's flavor, man. And if you got this other stuff that's, like that's just even better. So very innovative. You guys have a great story. When you guys, all right, so I want to have you guys in the office at some point, here in the studio, when we can get together and y'all can come in, and we want to celebrate some big milestone, that you guys have set. So let's talk about that. Why don't we set a milestone? What are y'all's milestone that we can come in, we can have y'all in, we can talk about the challenges of that milestone, and we can celebrate that milestone. What are y'all looking at as far as level? There's a million levels to y'all's game, just like there's a million levels in my game. They never end. It's just how far you want to go, right? So what's a very ambitious thing that you got on tap that we can all be tracking? That we can all be like, hey, how's JH Bards doing on their goal that they talked about on your show? And I can update them. I can give them, where the product is they can go buy. And then when you achieve that, we have you in the office and we celebrate. So tell us about that.
I guess my initial thought, and Jason, you naturally have override authority, but a simple thought and an easy way to track it would be bottle sales. our marketing strategy is kind of three-pronged. It's selling bottles to restaurants and our licensee partners. It's selling cocktails and things in our tasting room itself, and then it's selling bottles to individuals, whether it's on the internet, on our website, or through the tasting room also. So, we talk every day almost about bottle sales and where we are and where we've been.
What's your best month? What's your best month on bottle sales?
We've only been open for 2 months, so it's hard to say exactly what the best month is. The best month was the first month.
Yeah.
The second month was pretty daggone good, and then we're hoping for a pretty big June as well. So
gotcha. What do you want to say after? Let's just keep it fairly modest. Let's keep it after you cross 1,000 bottles. Is that a big deal? I mean, like 1,000 bottles. I mean, that's a pretty good start, right? Like how many bottles are out right now?
It was a big deal, and we've already hit that big deal.
Okay, there you go. Then let's call it 10,000. Let's 10x that. Once you get to 10,000 bottles, we got you in here. We'll all just I'm going to have this new studio set up. It's literally going to be a mock-up of Joe Rogan's studio.
Love it.
And we'll sit here and we'll just kick back. Maybe we'll just have something on TV, and we'll just run the cameras. It might not be live because who knows, but we can just kind of sit in here and just chill out and come up with strategies and talk about how to further this brand to make it really, really something people are, they know about, something that attention, how to gain attention to you guys, and we can just kind of kick it, and then we can just, any great moments we have, we can just distribute, we can have that edited up, and we can put that out as a special edition or something like that. So you want to set the 10,000 bottle goal and just keep me posted on where you are?
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
we can deal with that.
All right. And then we'll definitely be in touch with you on the Seaberg 2001 class reunion thing.
Awesome.
So, but anyway, man, I think that's a action-packed 30 minutes. I don't want to, I pretty much ran through my outline. I thought I had an hour. I've got 30. So we'll just kind of wrap it up here. Really appreciate you guys, and enjoyed the conversation. Where I want to give you kind of where to go, what's your website, give everyone how they're going to find your product and where they can find you to place an order, pretty much.
Yeah, our website's nice and easy to remember, www.jhbards.com. Not only can you read about our product, learn about our business from a visual standpoint, it also leads you to our store where you can place an order for either pickup here in our location or delivery anywhere in the state of Virginia. Not only our spirits, but obviously our merchandising as well, our t-shirts and hats and whatnot. We're located in Fairlawn, over near the river course off of Visco Road. Again, it's at the Pulaski County Innovation Center, and we're bay number 175. You can't miss us. There's signages all over the place when you get off of Visco Road. We are open, like I said, Friday, Saturday, noon to 8, Sundays 1 to 6. Every now and again, we do alter those hours based upon either a private event or a holiday, such as this past weekend. But we're also typically here just about every day of the week. So if you can't make it out here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and you really have need for us, give us a call, reach out to us, info@jhbards.com, and we can potentially set up a private appointment with you.
Awesome. Any employment opportunities you're trying to fill?
We just hired our first employee, which is pretty exciting. She's going to do a great job. She helped us out during our Kentucky Derby party, and she did an amazing job. Throughout the summer, Jason and I both have, whether I'm going on a Girl Scout backpacking trip or whatever, we've got a few different holes that she's going to be helping us fill this summer. Hopefully, we'll be getting to the point where we're going to need more employees. That would be an amazing thing to have to hire more folks.
Yep. The only way to leverage this into a company that's going to be any kind of significant is to get people. People are the key to having great things, in my opinion. You can't expect to do everything on the back, on your back. I was coached one time that says, if you do not have an assistant, you are one. So don't be what you're not. You're the guy you're the creative guy. You're the, whatever it is that you specialize in and you love, 4x down on that, hire out everything else. That's some great advice, I think. So, as you scale out, definitely be quick to hire if you can find some great people. Because, obviously we want that New River Valley to be very healthy and, as far as employment goes. So if you guys can hire, 50 people, what a business you'd create if you could hire 50 people, So, all right. Well, next week we got Amy Hudson coming in for our 50th episode. We're really excited to have her back. This will be the second time we've had her. Guys, really appreciate your time. And we're going to hit that 10,000 bottle mark, and we're going to have you in there. We're going to be trying to get monthly updates from you guys on this sales volume goal that we have. All right.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, until next time, we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you very much.
Very much.
See ya.